Good evening, everybody. I hope I am live here. Um, the reason we're doing this presentation tonight is because I've been asked to do some research on supplements. We've recently had three people diagnosed in different parts of the country with liver disease due to supplements. I literally thought that that was a hoax, that no such thing existed. I'm like, I have to see the studies. I don't believe this. And I was bombarded with people that said, I have a friend who was diagnosed with that and found out indeed it was a real deal that people are getting liver disease from supplements. So Ellen and I were talking, and I wanted to dig into this and found a lot of interesting information I wanted to share with you tonight just to educate you. So first of all, let's take a look at the bottles. Bottles have a triangle with a number on the bottom, and those numbers represent the material the bottles are made from. So is it recyclable or is it toxic? These are things that are important to know because whatever your bottle is made of can affect your supplements. So the most common is the triangle on the bottom of your bottle that has the number 1. They're called PET bottles. Polyethylene terephthalate. The symbol with a number 1 represents PET plastic, one of the most common types used for food and beverage packaging. Now, phthalate, I'll go into that a little further. Phthalate is something that is in all plastics. It can be BPA free, but it will still contain phthalate. Phthalate builds up in the body and can literally cause cancer. So it's often clear and used to make bottles. It is known for bacteria that can accumulate inside of those bottles. Antimony trioxide is commonly used as a catalyst in the production process, and it is classified as a possible carcinogenic.
Inge, you want to change slides. You're still on the first slide.
No, I'm on the third slide on my screen.
It's not changing. So you want me to change it for you?
Yeah, please.
You're still on slide 1 here. If you got to click on the slides on the left-hand side of the screen.
Let me go
there
to
you go. There you're good. Now you're good. Okay.
Okay, I just changed mode, get out of the presentation mode. Okay.
Perfect.
So
you're good.
I'll go back real quick to show that number 1. That is a symbol that you look for on the bottom of these plastic bottles. Say it's a triangle. It always has a number inside of it. Okay, so polyethylene terephthalate. Like I said, it's usually clear, but it's a form of plastic they use to make bottles, and it's known to harbor bacteria. The antimony trioxide is used as a catalyst and is classified as a possible carcinogenic. This really concerned me because, as some of you well know, we work with a lot of people these days who have the C condition. We can just call it the C condition. In fabrics, even at low temperatures, the antimony can migrate from polyester to saliva and perspiration. And a number of researchers have also confirmed that other estrogenic compounds are capable of migrating from PET bottles into its content. So when you deal with things that are estrogenic, these can cause estrogenic cancers, like breast cancer is estrogenic, some other female cancers, and even men have breast cancer at times. So the antimony migration was seen in samples stored at 60 degrees Celsius for 30 days and was above the permissible limits of the European Food Safety Authority. Now, 60 degrees Celsius is a fairly high temperature, and the weather doesn't get up that high. However, warehouses and trucks do where these items are stored. So we need to keep that in mind. The acetaldehyde, formaldehyde, and these other chemicals, terephthalate, that are used to make the terephthalate, migrated into the liquid stored in the PET bottle as well. Again, these are carcinogenics. And in the presence of heat, the antimony, a toxic metalloid, leaches into food and beverages, which can also cause vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach ulcers. I had no idea. Stomach ulcers, we see so much of that, people who have stomach problems. So if they use a lot of beverages that come out of plastic bottles, or supplements even that come out of plastic bottles, that can contribute to stomach ulcers as well. And those compounds were considered non-intentionally added substances, and the level increases statistically during the shelf life. I remember years ago, we bought some vanilla bottles in Mexico in plastic bottles. Um, they disintegrated. They literally disintegrated. My husband used to work for Dannon Yogurt. And of course, as you probably well know, Dannon also puts out water. And this has been years ago. I remember asking him, why is there an expiration date on a water bottle? Water doesn't expire. He found out that the bottle expires into the water. That was my first coming in contact with this kind of idea. So PET is also known for being the source of a number of potential chemical contaminants, including endocrine disruptors such as bisphenol A, which can cause reproductive disorders, cardiovascular problems, and cancer, among other ill effects. That came from The Guardian. Um, so again, endocrine disruptors, we talk about endocrine disruptors a lot because what people don't realize is that hormones are not just part of your reproductive system. Hormones are required to support every function in your body. I need hormones right now to talk. I need hormones to think. Hormones keep my blood flowing through my arteries. Hormones help my digestion. So everything your body does requires hormones, and these cancer causing toxic agents, these endocrine disruptors as we call them, interrupt the hormone messaging system so your body can't do what it's supposed to do. Okay, that's why we do specific detoxes that grab these toxins to remove them from the body to get your body to work. Here we talk about phthalates. They're loosely bound to plastic and easily absorbed into the food. Beverages, as well as saliva, and like BPA, they have been commonly detected in our bodies. Most concerning is the effect that phthalates have on the reproductive health in males. Exposure in fetuses has been linked to the malformation of the male reproductive system. There are lots of males these days that are not able to have children with their spouse. That is becoming a definite problem. Now let's take a look at fillers that you find in some of the capsules. One of the ones that is trending is silicone dioxide. You find it in lots of supplements on the market. The European Food Safety Authority cannot give food additive silicone dioxide the safety all clear because it may contain nano-sized particles and has urged the Commission to change the specification. Here is your link if you want to look into it a little bit further. In other words, silicone dioxide is not safe. Magnesium stearate. This one was surprising to me when I found out about this. This was an additive that was considered generally safe to consume for years. However, new research suggests that it might not be as harmless as what people once thought. It can irritate the mucous lining of the bowels. And for those of you that have been in the natural health industry for many, many years, we all know that every disease, health problem, starts in the gut, right? It starts with inflammation in the gut. Here's magnesium stearate found in many supplements. It can irritate the mucous lining of the gut. What is irritate? Means it causes inflammation. Magnesium stearate may have negative effects on your T cell function, thereby weakening your immune system overall. It contributes to poor nutrient absorption. Magnesium stearate slows absorption and can prevent beneficial vitamins and minerals from entering your system. Then there is a condition that's come up the last number of years that's called a biofilm. So you can also get a biofilm buildup from magnesium stearate. It's caused by a buildup of specific bacteria in your digestive tract. Biofilm can form when you consume too much of a harmful substance over time. Some studies have suggested that magnesium stearate can cause harmful biofilm to form in your stomach lining and intestines. These people, when they are diagnosed biofilm, you cannot even give them probiotics because it can send them into a tailspin. This is a very complex situation, and you have to be very careful with this particular situation in order to help people get well. Then calcium supplements may damage the heart. This is a study done by Johns Hopkins. After analyzing 10 years of medical tests on more than 2,700 people in a federally funded heart disease study, Researchers at Johns Hopkins Medicine and elsewhere conclude that taking calcium in the form of supplements may raise the risk of plaque buildup in the arteries, and heart damage, although a diet high in calcium rich foods appears to be protective. What's the difference? One is a tablet and one is a food. The tablet is made from dicalcium phosphate. It's a calcium form commonly found in prepared breakfast cereals, in pharmaceuticals, as an inert ingredient to bind tablets, and it is found in some toothpaste as well. In the supplement industry, it's also commonly used to form tablets, even in so-called healthy toothpaste. Okay, so I'm talking tablets of any kind of form. According to both the evidence gathered by the National Library of Medication, National Institutes of Health, and Pharmacy Health, ingestion of dicalcium phosphate could increase the severity of symptoms in people who are already experiencing problems with diarrhea, parathyroid disease, lung disease, kidney stones, and other stomach-related problems. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. And most people do have problems in these areas, even if they don't know about it sometimes. Calcium supplements use was associated with a 22% increased risk in incidence of coronary artery calcification. Okay, oral calcium supplementation may increase calcium deposits in the coronary vasculature independent of changes in the atheroma volume. There is a link to the Journal of Cardiovascular Imaging from 2021, so that is fairly recent. Sadly, yes, sadly, all tablets contain dicalcium phosphate. That includes prescription pills that you may take, and that includes homeopathic tablets. In order to make a tablet, you need dicalcium phosphate. So all these quote unquote things supposed to help your health cause other problems in the cardiovascular system. Let me come back to that for a second. I want to mention something here. In the last 6 months, I have reversed 3 cases of dementia. And I don't know about you, dementia scares me more than cancer. Cancer, I know what to do. But when I lose my mind, how am I going to help myself? So I've reversed 3 cases, and all 3 cases had impaired blood supply to the brain. And that's how we turn things around, by removing calcium deposits, lipid deposits that cause hardening of the arteries. These people got their mind back, so to speak. Time to celebrate, right? Now let's take a look to sorbitol. It's a sugar-free sweetener. It's a sugar alcohol. It may cause malabsorption, especially in people with gut problems, which almost anybody has there. Some case studies show that patients have been admitted to hospitals due to persistent diarrhea and extreme weight loss caused unknowingly by sorbitol consumption. And by the way, you do find sorbitol in some supplements. It has well-documented side effects at lower doses than most other sweeteners. For this reason, it's better to look for natural, low-carb sweeteners. And one of the things that's natural is monk fruit, lohan it's called sometimes. Xylitol is a good one. Stevia is another one. Those are just plant-based sweeteners. Here is another product found in the supplement industry that you can find at your health food store, titanium dioxide. Again, the European Food Safety Authority concluded in 21 that particles can accumulate in the body and that it is not possible to rule out genotoxicity, the ability of titanium dioxide in food to break DNA strands and cause chromosomal damage. I don't know if you realize how important this is, but when your DNA is damaged, who you are is damaged. Okay, DNA makes up who you are and what you are. When that is damaged, no telling what all can go wrong in the body. It is one of the most dangerous things. It has potential immunotoxicity, inflammation, and neurotoxicity adverse effects. Inflammation, we already talked about that. Most people know what inflammation is. Neurotoxicity is toxic to the nervous system, right? Titanium dioxide also may be an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can disrupt your hormones that keep your body functioning. EFSA declared titanium dioxide not safe for consumption. Testosterone. Testosterone is a fairly popular supplement, found a lot in people that are doing bodybuilding, fitness industry. So many fitness products literally contain testosterone-like ingredients. They are called androgenic anabolic steroids. These can cause what they call cholestatic hepatitis. Yes, liver damage. The products are often purchased at health food stores or online in bulk. Over the past 2 decades, a significant increase in the incidence of liver injury related to this illicit use of AAS has been reported. These are synthetic derivatives of testosterone. And research suggests that 69% of the fitness and military community use them. That's quite a high percentage. Let's take a look at folic acid. Most women are familiar with folic acid because what? They all are given prenatals with folic acid. And by the way, just FYI, birth defects happen at conception, not during the pregnancy. They happen at conception. If you are wanting to get pregnant, the best thing to do is to take a supplement a year before you get pregnant to avoid these problems. And we don't take folic acid. So folic acid is synthetic and metabolized in the liver. Folate is the natural substance and metabolized in the stomach. Folic acid may cause tongue ties in utero. I know people who have had children or grandchildren born with tongue ties. Folate, the natural form from food, has no side effects. And feel free to look up the study on that. It actually came from a midwife. Let's take a look at vitamins and minerals. No artificial vitamins here, right? Organic mushrooms provide B vitamins. Organic greens serve up natural vitamins and minerals, including folate. Folate is one of the vitamins that is present in your super greens plus D, and it is from food, so it has no side effects. A little bit more on liver disease from supplements. Like I said, that's what got my attention with all at once people being diagnosed with liver disease. In 2004 to 2005, the supplement-induced liver disease was at 7%. In 2020, the incidence were up to 20%. That is almost 3 times as much in 15 years. One of the big products that caused problems that was quoted in the studies was a product called OxyElite Pro. It's a weight loss and muscle building product. I don't know if anybody has taken that, but if you know anybody that is, you might warn them that this literally causes liver disease. Natural supplements and nutrients are essential vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and other health-promoting compounds that occur naturally in whole foods. In other words, nothing isolated, nothing separated. I asked somebody years ago, what about whole food vitamins? And this lady was an expert in quality control. And she said to me, how can I put a needle in an apple to pull out vitamin C? And I thought, well, that makes a lot of sense. You can't do that. So I guess there's no such thing. But obviously there is. Our touchstone products are wonderful whole food supplements, right? So they're typically extracted by grinding or juicing a food source, followed by dehydrating, which leaves a powdered form that can be incorporated into a pill or a capsule, or loose in bulk that you scoop and add it to some water to drink. Now, synthetic supplements, they are produced in a laboratory via chemical reactions to manufacture artificial compounds that mimic the chemical structure of naturally occurring nutrients. Synthetic nutrients are generally poorly absorbed and less effective than their natural counterparts. They also may pose health concerns and can have side effects if taken for prolonged periods of time. What about the cost? People tell me, well, these whole food supplements are more expensive. Well, artificial nutrients are cheap to produce. Almost all supplements available in drugstores, supermarkets, and health food stores are synthetic, okay? Especially your vitamins. In contrast, extracting vitamins from natural food sources is time-consuming, and yes, it is costly. explaining why supplements with natural ingredients are often considered to be more expensive. While the synthetic nutrients may contain some basic building blocks as natural ones, the structure, if you look at them under a microscope, the structure and chemical bond formation are completely different, which significantly impacts how the body can absorb and utilize the compounds. You know, when you put food in the body says, oh, wonderful, let me grab this and metabolize this. But when you put a chemical in the body has to stop and think. It's like, I don't know that I like this. And your liver goes, wow, stop. I don't know how to process this, because it is not food. It is a chemical. And our bodies are not made to live on chemicals. My multivitamin for the day, essentials. I gave this to somebody to read a label. They were in here and they thought they had an all natural multivitamin that had listed individual vitamins and their exact percentages. I said, you can't measure that if you have a whole food vitamin. There is no way. I said, this here is a whole food vitamin. I said, feel free to read the label. And she said, well, there's no vitamins listed. I said, exactly, because there is no way to measure the exact milligrams of each vitamin when you have whole food. And that made sense to her. Of course, these products are wonderfully certified. One of my favorites is the QAI, the International Organic Certification. Many people are becoming familiar with the lack of organic material in quote unquote USDA organic because they are not physically inspected. When you have a Quality Assurance International, the products are physically inspected to be free of chemicals. So the other thing about whole food vitamins, you don't need as much because they are more effective. They're more bioavailable. It means they're easily absorbed and utilized by the body. Unlike artificial nutrients, food-derived vitamins are often bound to other organic compounds the way they are in nature. So some of these are amino acids or trace minerals, pre or probiotics, which is part of a whole food product. And also they act as cofactors for bioavailability. So the cofactors not only increase bioavailability and absorption of nutrients, but it does so by protecting them from the degradation and facilitating transport across cell membranes. In other words, the whole body can absorb these nutrients without any stress and without any struggles. It just grabs hold of this as healthy food. So is it worth the difference? Think about it. In contrast, synthetic vitamins are produced in isolation and lack cofactors, which significantly reduces their bioavailability. And that also explains why supplements made with artificial nutrients often contain extremely high doses to compensate for the poor absorption of the ingredients. So, if you see it has 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C and it's in a tablet form, well, one of the problems with a lot of tablet forms of vitamin C, even if it's time released, it does more harm than good. Okay, it's a tablet because it's time released. So again, the tablet is made with what? Dicalcium phosphate. You're having problems there. It's synthetic, so you're lucky to absorb 5% of that. When you absorb it from whole food, you absorb 100% of that vitamin. Vitamin D, I mentioned that a little bit earlier as far as the folate. Synthetic vitamin D, also known as vitamin D2, is ergocalciferol. It's not as potent and bioavailable as the natural vitamin D3. It's significantly less effective in treating vitamin D deficiencies. There's also some concern that high doses of synthetic D2 can increase the risk of heart disease and pancreatic cancer. We see quite a bit of pancreatic cancer these days and have to wonder what all the problems are. So take a look. Is your multivitamin natural or is it synthetic? What exactly does natural mean? We talked about that. It comes from food sources, natural sources. The other 90% must be declared on the labels, other ingredients. You can read the other ingredients on any label and see what it says and what all is added to. Synthetic vitamin red flags, you'll see things like toxic fillers and binders and flow agents like magnesium stearate, stearic acid, MSG. Some people have hydrogenated oils, hexane, maltodextrin, propylene glycol. You even see that in some supplements, which is a major carcinogen. So read your labels all the way down to the bottom where it says other ingredients, please. Last but not least, I've never forgotten this. In my many years of practice, one thing we were always taught that the natural chelates synthetic. So what does that mean? There were so many women who had breast implants, silicone breast implants that would start leaking. They would get deadly ill. What would we give them? We would give them herbs that are naturally high in silica. Things like horsetail. Why? Because it pulls out the synthetic silicone. So why waste your money, right? Why take synthetics when there's something natural in your food that's going to remove the synthetic? You're literally wasting your money. Stay with food and stay healthy. Then let's take a look at what's happening in the industry, why all this is going on. Many supplements that people trust in. Somebody was in here the other day with, I believe it was called Second Chapter, if I'm not mistaken. They're owned by Big Pharma. All these companies have been bought up by Big Pharma. But even if your company is not listed on this, that doesn't mean they're not owned by Big Pharma, right? There's other ways that companies buy up supplement companies. And that is through different funds. So what you can do, go to Google, just not Dr. Google, but general Google Finance, right? And type in who owns the supplements of the company that you take, right? Who owns, and then the name of the company. Many mutual funds with deep pockets and Big Pharma own a piece. They are not listed on the previous slide. Do your own homework so you know what you're investing in and what you're taking and if you trust it. Because if a mutual fund has deep pockets in Big Pharma, they are not interested in making money on natural supplements. They're interested in making money on medications. My time is up. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Ellen, did you see any questions, any comments that I need to address? Because I don't know where they are. Where to look for.
No questions have popped up. Whitney said she's so glad that we have amber glass bottles in our products.
Yes.
But we don't have any questions, but great information. Thank you for sharing that. And if anybody has any questions, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, there's one person that said that loved this, and then they said thank you. So if you have a question and we don't see it now, then put it in the comments and we can go back if you're watching the replay and get to them later. Dr. Inge, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on.
You're very welcome. I hope this was beneficial to help some people. You have a good evening.
Very beneficial. Great information. Thank you.
Thank you.